and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week I take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong. We try to isolate an element of the race we might look back on later as having been the path to finding the winner. Well, racing on holiday Monday this weekend at Sha Tin, and the first race we're going to take a look at is race 2, where our winning factor is the draw. Now, this is a 1400 metre race for the cellar dwellers in Class 5, and I think there'll be good arguments made here for amazement from the on-fire John Size Yard, Sunny Baby with Joe Moreira, an eye-catching booking, Goodmanship, who had no luck at his last run, Sparkling Star, another without the best of luck recently, and down in the weights, Dragon Pride ran very well at Happy Valley off a long injury break last start. But I'm going to go first to the map for this race, because a couple of those chances I've mentioned do look to be a little bit disadvantaged and possibly even disqualified by the way the race sets up. So we take a look at the map, and it's a race without a lot of speed, so draw and position are going to be critical to the outcome. And Sparkling Star and Dragon Pride, well, they're both horses with a profile of getting back and running on in races, and they have wide gates to boot, and that is really going to hurt their prospects. On the other hand, Sunny Baby and Goodmanship are both potential leaders, and Amazement probably won't be a player for the front, but he shouldn't be too far away here, up in distance with gate 1. So I want the other trio really to be our focus of attention here, and particularly Sunny Baby. As I mentioned, a surprise booking for Joe Moreira on Sunny Baby, because the Brazilian has hardly had a ride for David Hayes this season, and in fact that extends back into last season. If we take a look at their figures, I've got a trivia question for you. Who has ridden more Group 1 winners for David Hayes, Joe Moreira or Zach Purton? Well, the answer is Moreira, but since Hayes returned to Hong Kong last season, he has definitely picked a lane as far as the two top riders are concerned, and he's bet on Purton. And as you can see, Purton has been delivering big time, hitting at better than 25% on the Hayes runners, and more importantly, exceeding market expectations on the Hayes runners. Not easy when many of them have been favourites. But with Purton out for an indefinite period with injury at the moment, Hayes has turned to Moreira to change the luck for Sunny Baby, and he's really got the first piece of that luck change when the barriers came out. This is a horse who's had wide gates his last 3 starts and hasn't had the best of barriers really throughout his career, but this time he's got gate 3, and that is going to make all the difference for him. And this is Sunny Baby's latest effort from Happy Valley. He's in orange with blue sleeves, and from the double figure draw, Sunny Baby presses forward in his first run in Class 5 and really has to work for the first 400 metres, where the speed, as you can see on the heat map, is reasonably generous. Now that pace comes off going around to the back straight, and he does get a breather for a while, but by the time they get to the 600 metres, the pace picks up again as the runs are coming around the field from back, and it's time to go again for Sunny Baby. A fair way out from home, and he actually gets to the front with more than 400 metres to run here, and that makes him easy meat for the horses which have had more relaxed runs behind, and they chew him up over the final 200 metres, but he did as well as he could under the circumstances. There wasn't a lot that could be done from the bad draw there. Sunny Baby very much hostage to the tempo of the race and the tactics of others, but on Monday we're going to see him in the driver's seat. So the tip in race 2, Sunny Baby. His winning factor, the draw. I do think that he's going to race handy this time, but without having to work to get there. And I think that'll make all the difference for Sunny Baby, and a rare Joe Moreira winner for David Hayes. The other race I want to take a look at is race 6, and here our winning factor, the pace. And most of the focus in this Class 4 is going to be on the top weight, Pins Prince for Joe Moreira and John Size, and the horse who beat him last time, Millennium Falcon. But I think there'll also be fans for Charge On, and down in the weights, Courageous Knight. Now, Charge On certainly would have disappointed his fans at last start, although he did have an excuse dropping back into Class 4 when he missed the start. And Courageous Knight, also a disappointment last start, but he did have a vet issue, and I think that we'll see significant improvement from him too. And if we go back 2 runs ago, he certainly has a chance in this race. So this is race 116, and Courageous Knight is in blue and white hoops, quartered cap, and he's handy to the leaders from an inside gate here, if a touch keen initially, but eventually settles down and gets a good run through the race, and even looks a chance at the top of the straight where he's following the ultimate winner into the race. But note here, when Alexi Bedell tries to come out at the 400 metres, Zach Purton's on his outside and is having none of it. The 2 horses collide. Courageous Knight is off balance for a few strides, and you see the leaders now get away from him before he gets himself gathered up again and balanced to finish, but he's just sort of 1 pace down to the line, sticking on courageously rather than brilliantly. Now that certainly did not cost him that race, but it should have been a little bit closer, but it also highlighted that he has one of the things we're looking for in this particular race. That's an ability to lay up handy to the lead, which brings us to the favourite, Pins Prince. And let's have a look at his clash last start with Millennium Falcon, and this is race 229, and the ones to watch here are Pins Prince, yellow and white colours, gate 6, and Millennium Falcon, gate 10 in pink and white. Marrera quickly gets into a lovely spot behind the leaders with Pins Prince, while Millennium Falcon has to go back in the field. And you see something we've become used to with this horse. He travels quite keenly with his head up, and Zach Purton manages to keep a lid on that behaviour on this occasion. But the heat map shows us the race was truly run. Not so fast as to kill the leaders, but fast enough to let the back markers into the race. When they turn for home, both horses get held up a little for runs here on straightening, but more so Zach Purton on Millennium Falcon. Pins Prince gets through the gap, goes to the lead and looks the winner, but Millennium Falcon, once he gets out, sprints hard, and he's just too strong late. Now there's a slight weight swing towards Pins Prince this time. There's also a negative jockey change on Millennium Falcon from Zach Purton to the apprentice Jerry Chow. But I think the key factor here is going to be the change of pace. Now there looks to be little in the way of speed in this race, so even from his wider gate this time, I'd expect Pins Prince to be positively ridden right up on the speed, while Millennium Falcon is more likely to be restrained early. And the pace here is a problem for Millennium Falcon. As we've seen, he does like to get on with it and get his head up and get a bit keen. And he could over-race for Chow if the slower pace doesn't suit him. And even if Chow tries to overcome that tactical disadvantage and ride the horse closer, he probably would over-race then as well. Courageous Knight, for his part, he should have a similar spot to the one we saw him in the video, and that gives him a chance in the race too. But the tip in race 6, Pins Prince, his winning factor, the pace. I think there will be fans of Millennium Falcon again, considering he was held up for longer last time, but I think that Pins Prince is going to handle the change of tempo better than his rival. Well, that's it from the winning factor for this week. Merry Christmas, enjoy Monday's racing, we'll see you next time.